of turn 4, wind them up. 1 and 2, it's Shane Yoder in the car number 8 with Chris Patterson in the OP car. Banging on the door right off the bat. It's Yoder and Patterson nose to tail in 3 and 4 off turn 4. Patterson in the OP car really giving it a run up front. Patterson looks high and now sneaks a peek down low and will follow the tire tracks of Shane Yoder back to 3 and 4. Patterson in the yellow OP, a 7-time UMP state champion off turn 4. Patterson with well over 370 career victories to his name, already working on the 8 car of Shane Yoder. Yoder in car number 8 still leading. He's leading the points at Oakshade Raceway now. Has won already 4 features in 95, but Patterson going door to door with Yoder. In turn 2 off turn 2, your new leader is Chris Patterson. And there is caution on the speedway. The 49 car there, that's Larry Scott of Grand Rapids, Ohio, and the oldest racer in the field tonight, a 1986 Rayburn. Caution lights are on. Off turn 4, your leader is the very talented Chris Patterson in the OJ car. Normally Chris runs the OP, but out of respect for his good buddy Tim Allison, the Bandit, running the OJ car tonight. Off of turn 2, Patterson now beginning to take the heat from the 8 car of Shane Yoder. That's the race for the lead as Yoder sneaks a peek inside of Patterson off turn 4. Back to 1 and 2. It's still Patterson with the 8 car of Shane Yoder glued to his rear bumper. Back to 3 and 4. Check it in 3 and 4 off turn 4. Yoder sneaks inside. There's trouble in turn 4. 1 car spinning around. That's the 23 car of Wapakoneta, Ohio's Jerry Bowersock, in trouble in turn 4. Caution on the speedway. We wait for another in turn 3 with Chris Patterson at the point. Will pick the pace up there as your leaders run nose to tail off of turn 4. Green flag at the stand. It's Patterson and Yoder back to 1 and 2. Yoder sneaks a look inside of Patterson and all over Patterson. Yoder a bit loose there off of turn 2. That's the race for the top spot. It's a good one off turn 4 there further back in car number 6. A good look at Jesse James Lay all the way from Union, Kentucky. Picking up the leaders off turn 4 and back to 1 and 2. It's still Chris Patterson, not by much, with a rear view mirror full of Shane Yoder in the 8 car. Your leaders are still nose to tail. Yoder looks inside of Patterson off turn 4. Back to 1 and 2. Patterson continues to show the way, but Yoder is there every step of the way off turn 2. Yantis beginning to work forward in the 42 car. There are your leaders off turn 4. Further back, there the 4th place car of Larry Yantis from Findlay, Ohio, already recording 3 feature wins in 95. In fact, he was the A main winner last week in round 2 of the American Late Model Series at Millstream Speedway. There are your leaders off of turn 2. It's still Chris Patterson and Shane Yoder, still stacked up bumper to bumper off of turn 4. Back in 1 and 2, Patterson continues to show the way in his Ford-powered Hampshire. That's a Hampshire Ford, the only Ford entry in the late model show tonight. Patterson seems to have it all dialed in, but not without taking the heat from the young challenge of Shane Yoder in car number 8. Yoder has already recorded 3 feature wins in 95, those coming at Oakshade and Mansfield Raceway Park. But Shane Yoder really giving Patterson the heat here. I'll tell you what, and they're coming up on lap traffic too. This should be interesting. Back in 3 and 4, Yoder looks inside of Patterson off turn 4. We're halfway home. Back in 1 and 2, Patterson continues to show Yoder the way. In 3 and 4, Shane Yoder driving a Masters-built chassis. It's a Gertie-powered car, Gertie Chevy. The OJ of Chris Patterson running the GRT chassis is Patterson trying to work his way in traffic. That's John Lawhorn in the 1 car. In the 3 car, Mark Freeman out of Indiana just ahead. As your leaders thunder back to 1 and 2 now. Patterson will try it on the bottom, down inside of the Goodrich car off turn 2. That's the Goodrich car of Mark Freeman from Gas City, Indiana, going 1 lap down. That's the same chassis that Scott Bloomquist uses in the Havana Series. We have a race for the lead. In 1 and 2, Yoder looks inside of Patterson. They're door-to-door down the backstretch to 3 and 4 in traffic. Yoder still inside of Patterson now with Bowersock just ahead of him off turn 4. Back to 1 and 2 now. Yoder cannot shake the 23 car of Bowersock, trying to sneak by him on the inside. Bowersock keeps slamming the door a lap down. That'll hurt. I'll tell you what, he lost about 5 car lengths trying to get by Bowersock. He's now by Bowersock, and now he'll go to work on Patterson for the top spot. There's the difference between the two, about a 3-car advantage for Patterson, who's in traffic again off turn 4. Back to 1 and 2, Patterson trying it on the bottom, still trying to get by the 1 car of John Lawhorn. If you'll remember last year, 94 Lawhorn was the winner of our one and only late model show last September. But off turn 4, Patterson still trying to dispose of not only Lawhorn, but the 49 car of Larry Scott as well. And I'll tell you what, having his hands full in doing so. And now a race for the lead. Yoder looks outside of Patterson off turn 4. Stacked up, bumper to bumper, back to 1 and 2. With laps winding down, Patterson continues to fend off a serious assault from Shane Yoder in the 8-car. Yoder, one of the talented young drivers from Toledo, Ohio, a Masters-built Gertie. He's a master in it tonight, working on the veteran Chris Patterson. Back to 1 and 2. Wow, what a show. Through traffic, still in traffic. Patterson and Yoder locked, bumper to bumper in 3 and 4 off turn 4. Great race, 5 to go at the stripe, 5 laps to go for Chris Patterson, driving normally, as I said earlier, the OP, and now Shane Yoder's in trouble on the backstretch. Oh my goodness, caution lights are on. Yoder, who had been running second, got loose off turn 2 and gathered some lap traffic down there. Oh my, caution lights are on. 5 to go for Chris Patterson with the 6-car of Jesse James Lay in tow. There's a good shot of Chris Patterson in the OJ car tonight. Over 370 career wins in his career, a 7-time UMP state champion, has racked up 16 track titles along the way. Interesting numbers on the OP. That's the advantage for Chris Patterson, who leads now fairly comfortably over the 6-car of Jesse James Lay. Off turn 4 with laps winding down. There's Jesse James Lay in the 6-car. He ran 6 in the historical Dream last year at Eldora Speedway. Now that's a great, great accomplishment for the young speedster out of Union, Kentucky. Great, great shot of him off turn 4. Further back, some pretty good racing there. Jerry Rice on the move, the current American Late Model Series point leader in the 1B, the red car, put the move on Larry Yantis in the 42 car, running third at the stripe. Here's the white flag. Go back to turn 1. In turn 1, there, the OJ. Now tonight, that's Chris Patterson. Will follow him around one more time as he safely glides his racer through 3 and 4 up on the cushion off turn 4. Checkered flag for Chris Patterson. Running second at the stripe will be Jesse James Lay. Running third, Jerry Rice, Larry Yantis, and a great run from Rick DeLong to round out the top 5. Let's go down and meet the winner. Standing alongside for the second interview tonight, Chris Patterson. This one a little happier in victory lane. Great run, congratulations.
Well, I told you earlier, I got my hot rod going tonight, and we're going to be up front here.
What's the deal with this OJ on the side of the car? Normally you run the OP.
Well, I tell you what, I'm good friends with Tim Ellison. He's a good runner up here, you know, and he runs good. And we're just kind of laughing here. We got both zeros here, and let's make it OJ. Maybe we can be in the winner's circle tonight. So.
What about that Shane Yoder? He really was giving you a run for it up front there. He really looked good. In fact, he appeared to be the only car capable of running with you.
Yeah, Shane's really come a long way. He's really going good this year. I seen him down there on the bottom side of me a couple of times. I said, we got to get this Ford going a little bit faster. So.
How about that Ford power plant? Pretty happy with it?
I tell you what, it's a darn good motor. Hampshire, we just put that motor in last week, and we've been real pleased with it. I think you're going to see this Ford bring them back alive, you know.
I'd like to see that. How about the CRT chassis? Good ride?
I tell you what, this GRT it's about the 5th time we had this car out, and last week we was over there in Millstream running, and we lost the power steering on the car, and it's awful hard steering the car, and we put a cooler on it for the night, and it was a $29 part, and it sure paid off because the steering stayed in the car.